Finally, a total popcorn action flick for the summer. Hobbs Shaw brings the fights and the chase scenes, but is there a story to hold it all together? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham star as Hobbs and Shaw respectively. And even though it says Fast and the Furious presents, you don't need to have seen any of those movies to kind of get what's going on and to be able to enjoy this movie. Hobbs and Shaw are the good guys, and they are on the hunt for this deadly virus that can wipe out all of mankind. And of course, racing against them is the bad guy, Brixton, played by Idris Elba. Elba as Brixton gets to do some crazy stunts and just crazy action scenes because he's the self-proclaimed Black Superman. He's cybergenetically modified, and so he is just super strong. He has all of this tech inside his head, and so he has like all of this heads-up display as he's moving around and as he's fighting, and he's super fast, he's really strong, he's pretty much bulletproof. Well, maybe not bulletproof, but he has some really cool tech and gear with him that just makes him almost invincible. And then he's got this motorcycle that is crazy. I mean, anybody that has ever ridden a motorcycle would want one of these because there are so many different features that it has that just are outstanding. First off, it will stand up by itself without a kickstand. That's crazy right there in and of itself. But then parts of it act like a transformer, and it's just wild to watch as he does different stunts. And even at times, it felt a little bit like Speed Racer because they have some just gears on them. Not gears. I mean, yes, the motorcycle has gears, but it has just some gadgets on there that allow it to do some other tricks and some other weird things that are outside what a normal motorcycle would do. Another way to think of Brixton is a modern day $6 million man. I mean, he's that good in everything, and so it's a lot of fun. Vanessa Kirby is an MI6 agent who is in the hunt as well, and she doesn't just sit back and let the action happen around her. I mean, she takes part in the fight scenes, the gun scenes, the chase scenes, everything, and so it's a lot of fun to watch her take part in this also because she can kick your butt. The story in this is predictable and thin, and in about the first 5 minutes, you can pretty much figure out exactly what's going to happen throughout the film, at least while the story is concerned. But we don't go to a movie like this for the story. Sure, does it help? Do I need to be at least kind of entertained or enthralled by what the storyline is? Because then I can kind of care about the characters. So there is a little bit of that. I mean, the story is there and it does hold it together enough. But really, it's the action, it's the fight scenes, it's the chase scenes, it's the gun battles, it's the explosions. It's everything, just summer popcorn flick, the reason to go. The action is off the rails. It is just so crazy and so insane and a lot of fun to watch, but a lot of the time it's wildly unrealistic as well. But again, we overlook that because it is so much fun. I mean, if you saw any parts of the trailers, there were some that involved some trucks and a helicopter, and it's not consistent in what they do in that scene and then following another scene where, well, anyway, involving still trucks and a helicopter. And so, sure, does it make total sense? Is there a lot of continuity, and does gravity and reality play a true role in this? No, not at all. But it's still a lot of fun. I mean, even the fight scenes are wildly unrealistic. I mean, some of the punches, some of the beatings, some of the things that people are hit with just would kill anybody instantly. But hey, these are all superheroes. I mean, they're action heroes. They're not superheroes, but they're action heroes. And so they take a beating, they give a beating, and then they stand right back up and do it again. There's some cameos that pop up in the film too, and they caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting them at all. And I have not seen every single one of the Fast and the Furious movies, but I don't believe that everybody that pops up is in that franchise. So it was kind of just fun to see, like, oh, hey, this person showed up or this person showed up, and they do get to add some humor to it, you know, definitely some laughs. But on the other side, it does extend the scenes longer, and so it does make the movie that much longer by putting in these cameos, because pretty much the scenes could have been explained another way or just cut out completely because they didn't totally add a whole lot to it. When you're watching this, I mean, you'll probably look at Brixton, the bad guy, and you'll see a little bit of Thanos in him. I mean, not the way he looks, but I mean, he's super powerful. But there's just aspects of him that reminded me a little bit of that. And then the story itself will remind you of several other films. I mean, good grief, it's bad guy trying to steal something and the good guys are trying to stop them. That's really the story right there, that they're on the hunt for something, in this case a deadly virus. But insert X in there and that's your basic plot for any action movie. Even outside of the cameos that bring some of the humor, there is a lot of decent humor throughout the movie, and it's shared equally through all of the characters. But at some points, it feels like the scenes are drawn out too much, like they're just really trying to force a laugh versus, you know what, you made us laugh, now move on, instead of just keep it going and keep it going, because then it feels a little tired, and like I said, it does feel forced. Because of how big this action movie is, at some points they are going to use green screen, but for the most part, a lot of the special effects felt real. They looked real, and if they were using green screen, you couldn't tell. But then there were times where you could totally tell that it was shot on a green screen, and it just stood out as kind of weird. But was it enough to make me go, oh, screw it, I don't want to watch this movie ever again, it was just too terrible? No, it wasn't terrible. One thing in the film that made me laugh to myself is that there is an unnamed and unseen bad guy in addition to Brixton. And just the way that it was working out and the way that it played itself out, all I could think of was Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. I'm talking about the cartoon where you only see the hands and the cat. Now there's not a cat in this, there's not hands, you don't see any of that, but just the way that it played out and just some of the motivation or how it was coming across to me, that's all I could picture. Maybe you'll see something different or you just go, Chris, you're an idiot, whatever. So is this worth seeing on the big screen? I mean, should you shell out the cash to go and see it in the theaters? Yes. Absolutely. I mean, it is a great action movie. There are intense fight scenes, crazy chase scenes that put you right into the action, massive explosions, just huge fights and gun battles, and the whole bit. I mean, this is what we look for when you think popcorn summer movie. I mean, it's mindless action, a lot of fun, and it's just a great entertaining time at the movies. There's no sex or nudity, but there is a lot of profanity and, of course, a ton of violence. I give Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs & Shaw 4 out of 5 couches. Are you a fan of the Fast and the Furious series? Let me know which is your favorite in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.